If you follow this channel, you know that my favorite way for you to protect your home is with a wired NVR security camera system. I find it to be the most proactive method. You also know that my favorite brand when it comes to those systems is Alibi Security. A few videos ago, I did my top 10 reasons as to why Alibi is my favorite. In September of 2024, I did a video on my favorite system from Alibi. It's my go-to system. We ship it every day. And because it's professional grade, it has a much longer life cycle than the cheap junk, so it'll be the latest and greatest for quite some time, because it still is. Now, the cameras in that video were 107 degrees as far as the field of view, and some people were asking me for a wider angle. So a couple weeks later, I did a video on Alibi's 180-degree panoramic view bullet camera. It's a 4K camera, dual lenses, great camera, but if you follow the channel, you also know that bullet cameras are not my favorite. So today I'm excited to talk about the turret dome version of that camera, which is my favorite style. It also is a 180-degree panoramic camera, 4K resolution. I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's get to it. What up, everybody? George Langabeer here. Today we are talking about my favorite 180-degree panoramic view camera. It's a dual lens camera, it's 4K resolution, and it's from Alibi Security. I'm going to talk about the price and specs in a moment, but I also want to say when it comes to 180-degree cameras, if you talk to me on the phone, you know they're not always my favorite. First of all, if they're just a 180 camera and they're not dual lens, they have a horrible, horrible fisheye effect. Now, a lot of brands have found out a way to combat that fisheye effect with these dual lens cameras. Not always my favorite because they give you a nice wide angle, but sometimes you lose detail. But I will say that Alibi does this better than anybody else. You also know with these dual lens cameras, there's a stitching effect. Basically, you're taking two lenses, putting them together, but right in the middle, there's a stitch or a blind spot. Alibi also corrects that better than anybody else. Now, this is a professional grade camera, also known as a dealer grade camera, meaning it's not available to the general public. You're not going to find it in the wild. That's why I'm doing this video. So if you're interested in this camera or the system that goes with it, look in the description of this video for my contact information. Yes, I do answer the phone for these things. You can call me, we can discuss it, and I can get you this camera or the system that goes with it. Talking price and specs. This camera is currently $559.99. Now, when I first started talking about my favorite system in September of 2024, all these cameras were cheaper. They've gone up twice because of the stupid tariffs, and there's nothing Alibi can do about it. And I want to take this moment to say publicly that the tariffs really piss me off. They've affected a lot of small business friends of mine. They've affected my small business. It's just not cool, man. It's just not cool. So currently $559.99. This camera can be used as a standalone camera. It is a PoE camera, power over Ethernet, meaning that you could just hook it up to a PoE switch. Your network will find it. You can use it that way, using up to a 512 gig micro SD card. But I will tell you the 100% absolute best way to use this camera is with an Alibi NVR, because then you're going to get all the features that you want with this camera. It is also ONVIF compatible, meaning that you can use it with third-party or other brand NVRs, like I'm currently just testing it for the hell of it with a Unify NVR. I can see the camera and I can search using Unify's interface, but I can't use all the other features. So keep in mind, if it's an Alibi NVR, you're going to get all the features. If it's another brand, you're just going to get some of the features. As far as Alibi NVRs go, you can get those in an 8-channel. And when I say channel, I mean the amount of cameras it'll hold. So you can go 8, 16, 32, 64, all the way up to 128. Again, these are professional grade cameras. So a lot of times Alibi is using these in commercial applications, government applications, law enforcement applications. Sometimes these people are going up to 128 cameras. Your typical house is going to be an 8-camera NVR. Now, talking about being professional grade, what does that mean? That means these have metal housings instead of plastic. That means all the guts, the wide dynamic range, the HDR, the night vision, the analytics, the person detection, the vehicle detection, it's all upgraded compared to the cheap stuff. Now, even Alibi has cameras for all levels of budget. You will find some of their stuff available to the general public, but that is the cheaper plastic stuff because they just want to offer options to everybody. If you want the good stuff, you need to go professional grade. And I'm talking, that's a step above Unify. That's a step above Reolink. That's a step above UFI. This is the good stuff at the top. It's the best of the best. This camera has 8 megapixel, which is 4K resolution at 20 frames per second. And as I said, it has that 180-degree dual lens panoramic view. Let's talk night vision. With this camera, you've got a few different options. It's got a Starlight chipset, which is color night vision in low light. That's a 0.0005 lux. Lux is a low light rating. If you've got ambient light, which is like street lights and things like that, it's a 0.000 lux, which is perfect color night vision. If you want to take it up a notch, this camera also has Alibi's Illuminate night vision, which is the best night vision I've ever tried. And that's color night vision up to 98 feet. And I'm talking the color night vision in pitch black circumstances. You don't need the ambient light. It achieves that with 2 little white lights on the camera. These are not spotlights that are going to blind your neighbors. They're just 2 little white lights on the camera. I'm going to show you demos of both the Starlight with basically my shades here open with the city lights. Then I'm going to show you Illuminate with my privacy shades closed, where it's pitch black in here. And then they also have an IR option where you can see this camera in black and white at night. So let's do a demo of all the above. All right, so this first demo, I'm going to show you with my shades open. This is with the city lights coming in. So we do have some ambient light here. So it's using that Starlight chipset. Moving on to shutting my privacy shades. When I shut these shades, it is pitch black in here. You're going to see some little lights from the little illuminators on some of the cameras I'm testing, but those are just IR lights lighting up. Those are not actual lights that are helping the light in this room in any way, shape, or form. So it is very dark in here. So you can see the Illuminate in action, and then we'll move on to the IR version. So here we are with the shades closed, and this is in black and white. And I can tell you that Alibi's color night vision blows away the competition. I'm talking like Reolink, ColorX, and Eufy's color night vision. They just can't touch Alibi's. This camera has what's called IntelliSearch, which is the latest analytics, AI analytics, where you can search by color. So if you're trying to find an event, you can search both the color of a vehicle and also the upper and lower garment of a person's clothing, which is awesome. And when I'm talking to professional grade and the longer life cycle, why this system will be the latest and greatest for longer, it's because these professional grade cameras, when they come out, they have the latest technology way before everybody else. You'll find that people are just catching up with this color search and AI search. Alibi's been doing this for a couple of years now. So when you get professional grade, that's how they're able to achieve a longer life cycle, because they do it right the first time. They're not always catching up with themselves like the cheap stuff. We've also got what's called Smart Sense technology. That is professional grade analytics. And I'm talking person detection, vehicle detection, line crossing, people entering an area, people leaving an area. Again, because it's professional grade, it's much more advanced than the next level down, which is like Reolink and Eufy. We've also got advanced features like intelligent people counting and crowd density monitoring. Now that's more for professional or commercial applications, not residential, but you can see how advanced these cameras are compared to the competition. The camera has two-way audio, so it's got a great microphone and a great speaker. You know, the speakers are a sticking point for me. This is professional grade, so it takes it up a level. And then it takes it up even another level with pre-recorded messages as part of the active deterrent features. So you got a blue and red strobe, and then you also have these pre-recorded messages that will actually scare the bejesus out of somebody. It's a voice. You have different message options that you could actually hear much further in your yard than these cheaper options, where you're just trying to yell through your camera. You hear me say it all the time. You know, they might sound decent, but person's not going to hear you in the yard. This you will hear. I'm going to give you a demo of the couple different messages. Take a look, take a listen.
You are in the alert area. Please leave. You are in the alert area. Please leave. You are in the danger zone. Do not approach. You are in the danger zone. Do not approach. Please be aware. You are in the monitored area. Please be aware. You are in the monitored area.
The camera has true wide dynamic range and 3D noise reduction. And again, with professional grade, you're taking both those features up a notch. This camera is also NDAA compliant, just like all of Alibi's products are. That means it's compliant with the United States government. There are a lot of camera manufacturers out there, a lot of camera installers, a lot of camera salesmen that will sell you something that's not NDAA compliant. So it's technically banned by the United States government. And that's for privacy concerns with their relationship with other countries. I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, but it is a thing. Now, Alibi has a lot of government contracts and law enforcement contracts. They can't afford to deal with anything else. So everything is NDAA compliant, and that's very important to you and very important to me. It has an IP67 weather rating, which is as good as it gets. It's rated -22 degrees up to 140 degrees. So you could put this camera pretty much anywhere. Alaska, Arizona, all the above, it'll be fine. All right, now let's talk about how you can view this camera or an Alibi system. An Alibi NVR has an HDMI port. You can hook that up to any monitor or TV that's HDMI. I recommend that be 4K so you can get the full resolution of the cameras. You can also get the Alibi Vigilant mobile app and see the camera or your system on a smartphone or a tablet. A great app, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But as far as the monitor goes, there's a couple different advantages to having that as a backup. Number one, if your internet ever goes out, you can still see your cameras on your monitor because the NVR is not reliant on internet. It's just using internet to see it remotely and things like that. So it's great to be able to see that if your internet goes out. Number two, if something happens and you're trying to get a license plate or something like that, it's just always nice to have a bigger screen to look at for details. Number three, the monitor and the robust interface of the NVR, that's where you're going to see all your settings. There are quite a few available to you on the phone or tablet app, but not everything is available on the app. So if you want full control of everything, I would get yourself hooked up to a monitor. Now again, because this is a professional grade camera with that metal housing, it has an IK10 vandal-proof rating, which is the best you can get. So you could take a bat to this camera and it would survive just fine. All right, now let's talk about using this camera with the Alibi Vigilant mobile app. So there's my camera. Right below that, I've got live view. I could go to playback. I could switch the date. I can scroll with my thumb through all my events. Message, this is a list of all my detection and events. If I single tap on the image, I get some settings that pop up. I can pause the image. I can turn off the microphone. I can change how many cameras I see on the screen if I had multiple cameras on my NVR. I can change the resolution from low, medium, or high. I can go full screen. If I back out of that, down below, I've got multiple windows where I can see all my different cameras again. I could trigger the alarm if I wanted to. I can change the settings of the image, like the contrast and the brightness. I can go to multi-window playback, where I can see multiple cameras in my playback interface. Down at the very bottom, I could take a snapshot, which is a still picture. I can hit the microphone icon where I could talk to the camera, and I could also record a clip. I press it once, starts recording. I press it again, it stops. Let's go to the top right, which is the main settings. I can change the name of the camera there. I could share it if I want. I've got alarm detection. I've got motion detection, intrusion, line crossing, enter an area, leave an area. And if I go to each one, I can fine tune it. This is where I can change vehicle detection, person detection. I can turn on my alarm, which is the strobe lights, which is blue and red. I can change the alarm sound, which is the pre-recorded voice that comes on, which I did a demo of. So again, I can just fine tune that there under alarm detection. I can customize the alarm sound in the fact that I can record my own message, download it, and then that's what the camera would play to scare away an intruder. I've got image settings like wide dynamic range, smart illumination, that's the Illuminite. I can go from white light to infrared to dual light. I've got day-night mode. The sound in the microphone, I can control the microphone and the speaker and the volume. On-screen display, I can control what's on the screen, what I'm seeing on the image. I've got storage options there. That'd be the storage of the NVR in this case. I could control PTZ options if I had a pan tilt zoom camera hooked up to the NVR, which I do not. And then I've got more, which is diagnostic info and things like that. That is the very basics of using this camera with the Alibi Vigilant mobile app. It's a great app. I love it. All right, there we go. That is Alibi Security's 180-degree panoramic view, dual lens, 4K turret dome camera. What do you think? I will say in the grand scheme of security cameras and security camera systems, the system I did on September 5th, 2024 from Alibi is still my favorite and my go-to. 107 degrees field of view is the sweet spot before you start having to get in the dual lens and the weird aspect ratio of these 180-degree cameras. Not that that's a huge deal, it's just a personal preference for me. But when it comes to dual lens, 180 degree, and fixing that stitching issue in the middle, Alibi does it better than anybody else. So if you want a 180 camera, this is the one I recommend. I'd love to know your thoughts. Is there another 180 camera that I should do a review on? I've done quite a few reviews on the other brands, Eufy, Reolink, some other 180 cameras out there, but this is my favorite. If you are interested in this camera or a system from Alibi Security, check out that video from September 5th, 2024, but contact me. My contact info is in the description, and believe it or not, I will answer the phone and I can get you a system and ship it anywhere in the United States or Canada. You can get a local electrician to install it if you don't want to do it yourself. But if you do want to do it yourself, I did do an installation video late last year, and I try to take you through it step by step and do lots of tips and tricks. So check that out as well. I appreciate your support. I hope you keep liking and subscribing and watching. Come back for the next one. And until then, peace and love, my friends.